Think about how old you are today and how many birthdays you've had, how many Christmases you've had, how many holidays you've had, how many celebrations of any kind that you've had. And can you remember them all? Depending on how old you are, do you remember what happened on your 7th birthday or your 9th birthday? Or do you remember what happened on your 24th birthday, 33rd birthday? Specific things that would happen would have stuck in your mind, but generally you're going to forget about most of the birthdays that you've had. Think of every single day that you've been alive on this earth and what you've been experienced. Some days you're never going to remember. They've just cruised through, and other days are very significant because something happened on that day. So let's say you live till your 80s or 90s. Can you imagine how many days you have experienced in that lifetime? So when someone passes away, how would they remember their entire life? So let's say you have passed away and you've got to remember every single day of your entire life. And someone who's still alive wants to connect with your energy. So you're a spirit now, and you've got the chance to speak with someone who's still alive. What memories are you going to share with them? Like which ones? And are there going to be memories that they weren't there for, but they were something special for you? So also remembering that when we die, we don't have an ego anymore because we're a thinking brain. So the brain that's thinking today would be thinking, this is what I would tell my loved ones. If I passed away and I had a chance to give them a message or speak with them, this is what I would say. That is your thinking today, human brain thinking that. When you've passed, that's not there. It doesn't exist. Your thinking brain doesn't exist. You are a higher consciousness. So what messages are you going to give to those that are living? Have you ever thought about that? Do you just think that once your loved ones have died, they're thinking exactly the same way as they did while they were alive, but they don't have a thinking brain. So how do they do that? You've got to remember, it's a higher consciousness. What I find that a lot of souls that have passed will do in a reading is, because they use telepathy and they know what you are thinking and they know how important it is for you who is living, who is still thinking all the time. They know how important it is for you to know some things. So I believe they will share with you what you need to know. It's not like they need to share it. It's you need to know it, and they know that you need to know it. So that's why a certain message will come through. But it's all for you, because they are in a place. I've explained this before. When I died, went through my near-death experience, I could feel my 5 sons all at the same time. It was this universal energy, and I could feel them all at the same time, and I knew all of them were thinking at exactly the same time, but I didn't have a need as a higher consciousness to tell them what to do or to give them advice or to give them a message, because I knew their life was going to be okay. I could see all their lives was going to turn out the way that it was going to turn out, and there was no need for me to control any of that. Yet, when I'm alive, in my human thinking, my motherly concern is always there. Are they going to be okay? When they ring up and they've got a problem, I want to try and help solve it with them or talk through with them. So, but when I had died, that thinking was gone. That it didn't exist. So I just had this incredible knowing and love for them, and could see that their lives were going to unfold the way they were meant to unfold without any need for control. So a lot of the times the messages that do come through is what you need to hear. It's for your comfort because you're still here with a thinking brain. You're the one that does the worry. You're the one that does the thinking. You're the one that tries to figure everything out because that's what a human does. A human's always trying to figure something out. They can't just let it be, you know. And over there, you can let it be. When you're on the other side, you can just let it be. It just is. When we're here, we're kind of programmed to survive. So we're programmed to constantly look for answers. And that's why I think so many times we want to hear from them because it's us, you know, we need the comfort. We need to know we're loved. We need to know they're there. We need to know that they could help us solve a problem still like they did when they were alive. But if you just think about how long you've been here on this earth, if you had 30 minutes if you had already passed and you had 30 minutes to share as much as you could with someone who was still living, what do you think that is going to be? What kind of message do you think you're going to share with them? Do you think it would be that how much you love them, how much you are grateful that they were in your life? Do you think it'll be all the gratitude? Or do you think that they would still have a thinking brain and they would be talking to you like they would if they were still alive? Like how do you process the thought of people that are living and people that have passed?